Hello friends, Randy Saleh, your instructor for personal finance, and this video is how to write, format, and submit your written projects for this class. Friends, the written projects for this class are the bulk of your grade. They are 200 points apiece. They're a total of 800 points, which is 80% of the grade. And this is really where the great learning begins, and you'll carry this on for your personal financial future. So as we look through, our first unit lesson, you come to planning personal finances. Again, your screen will look just a little bit cleaner than mine because I am the author and the editor of this course, so it gives me a different viewpoint. So here we go. As soon as you click that, Project 1, Planning Personal Finances, you automatically see your due date, which corresponds to the course organizer. You can submit this project anytime as long as it's at or before 11 p.m. on September 15th. So gives you a good 3 weeks to get this done. You have a few little directions in here, but I have much more on your grading rubric as well as this video. So in order to access your project, you have to look at this. See this little guide right in here, this little hand that pops up, Project 1, Planning Personal Finances. So you click that and a new window opens up, and here is our assignment. Okay, so let's take a look at this. I have structured the course in each assignment. We have a friend. His name is Frank. And we are going to help Frank from graduating college all the way through retirement and estate planning. And so it's a nice case study. He's a good friend of ours. He's just graduated. He's making $72,000 a year as a game developer. Wow. Outstanding knowledge he has of high tech. But he has no idea how to organize his finances. And he wished he could have just taken a personal finance course while he was in college. As life begins, he's confused with the terminology, planning, budgeting, tax audits, financial services. Man, I wish I had my own place, he says. I want to purchase a car in the near future. What do I do? So, oh, yikes. Frank's out 6 months. He just received the letter from the United States Student Loan Depository. It's time to pay back those loans. You'll get that letter at 6 months after you're no longer in college. And so, he needs help. What can we do? He's about to head to Uptown Dallas and get a super cool apartment condominium. He's asking you, since you are a financial genius, you're taking BUSI 1307, about how he can better manage his money. So let's help Frank build a personal financial plan that's very positive. So that is a nutshell of what we'll be doing in this course. So as you see, I have everything in headings. 1, the financial planning process. So as you answer your questions, you'll get a Word file. Remember, it needs to be done in Microsoft Word. Now we have that free right on the course homepage. If you are a Mac person and you love Pages or you love Google Docs, you can use those to write your paper, but your final product, both of those programs will let you convert or export into a Microsoft Word or a PDF. Now, a PDF is perfectly fine to submit, but please do not submit a Google Docs because there is nothing to submit in Google Docs. Google Docs is for sharing. And many times a student may send me a link to share, to view their project. I do not want that. Again, the harder it is for me to grade someone's work, the more level of anxiety I get and the lower the grade tends to be. So, super easy what we need to do here, my friends. So when you start in your word processing document, just get Microsoft Word, it's free. You're going to put 1, financial planning process. You do not need to put any more of my writing in there, at least the question, because I do grade on a word count. And if I see a bunch of my own writing in there, I just have to take it out so I can get an accurate word count. And we're going to talk about that in the grading rubric. So let's look at this. Frank needs to have an understanding of the financial planning process. Define and explain each of the 6 steps of the financial planning process. Now you will find all these answers in your book. And it basically goes from chapter 1 to, I believe, chapter 5. So, in fact, it will actually have the heading Financial Planning Process. So, there are 6 steps. You're not going to list 6 steps and say that's the answer. You're going to state step 1, and then you're going to write each one of those. And each one of those will have its own separate heading and bulleted paragraphs, as I will show you in the grading rubric part of this video, which will be included in this. So, influence on economic conditions. Again, explain the 3 economic conditions to Frank. So every answer is not going to be 1 or 2 sentences. It's going to be several. It's going to be done in bullets in great formatting, which I have, again, just in a second. We'll look at that in this video of how to actually format and write. Sometimes a student will put a couple of words together in a couple of sentences. Rarely does that happen. Basically, that happens when someone waits until the very last minute, like on Tuesday, September, was that 15th, and says, "Oh, I better do this project," and it's very limited. There's been no research done, and that it pretty much turns out to be a disaster. So, and if it's a 1 or 2 or 3 sentence answer, it usually is a 0. I usually just don't put any credit at all, like you didn't answer the question for that. So, you have plenty of time, and again, friends, you're going to come back to this in your life because you're going to want to know this information. So as you do write it, the ultimate audience will be for you, I think. And the more research you do, the better equipped you will be to handle your finances. So we have 1, 2, 10 questions. There's each heading. Okay? And we're going to take Frank all the way through here. And it's going to be an interesting journey. Now, to receive full credit, each answer is explained in detail. These are some quick directions, but please review the grading rubric because I'm going over that right now. Next, once it'll be our next little video that we have included here. But again, just off the top, the minimum of a project should be is 1,000 words. You have 10 questions, and you can do quick math right there. 1,000 words, 100 words a question, and you've at least done the minimum. That's not an A, but it will get you a decent grade, okay? And again, these are some of the requirements, and I'm going to go over, and we're going to look at that right now as we hit our grading rubric. Again, print that out because this is how to optimize your grade in here. And again, the tip is if you can answer 3 of these questions a week, that's not hard, friends. Again, we're not driving to class, thank God. We're not in class, thank God. So if you did an hour a day, you're going to do well. If you wait to the last minute, again, it is Dante's 5th circle of hell, which is anger, because we become very frustrated that we wish we could have just put some little more time into this. So do a little bit each day, 3 a week. You've got this nailed by the end. Again, always check your course organizer due dates. So let's now go ahead and look at that grading rubric. So here we are at the grading rubric, and this is an example of how to format your projects as well. So here we go. A little help right in here. I've probably said it before, but the management and business and finance advisory committee meetings that I serve on and other committees throughout the community, we always ask the question, how are graduates in general from all colleges succeeding in their first jobs? And the responses are tech skills are very good, but the soft skills need a lot of work. And the number one item that they tend to focus on is writing and communicating. And so from emails to reports to memorandums to dealing with customers. So a big part of these papers are to get you to write in a business formatting. Now, this may be new to some of us. Unfortunately, our English composition courses teach traditional, very long essays that are double-spaced, and they look like almost a giant just block of text. But in business writing, we're going to do something different. We're going to use a lot of bulleted paragraphs. So here we go on completing our projects. include a title page. Every project that you submit should have a title page that includes the title of your work, Project 1, Project 2, Project 3, etc., and include your name. Okay? Next, we go into our, our formatting of each question. Now, I have given you the headings already on your assignment, so use that heading. You do not need to retype the question. As I've mentioned before, I will just take that out of the word count, any repetition of what I've already written. You just need the number and the heading. We're going to use bulleted paragraphs, and I'm going to show you an example. In business writing, a paragraph should never exceed 6 sentences. So, make a point of that. We're trying to make it easy to read and easy for anyone to gain the information that you are trying to present. We do not use double space. Please do not send me a double-spaced paper project. I think the best is to use a 1.15 spacing. Now you can use 1 to 1.5, but I have seen time and time again the 1.15 is a really clean look. The font for your body text should be no bigger than a 12-point font, 11 or 12 point, and it should be basically Times Roman, Calipre, it could be Gill Sans, but some of the fonts get really big, and the bigger you put your fonts in anything that you do, that you write, the harder it gets to read. The headings should be only 14 to 16 points. So please do not send a paper, a project, that is 14 to 16 with every word. All I have to do is size it back down, and the more I have to work to grade someone's project doesn't bode well for the grade, for the final grade for that project. I think you understand what I'm saying there. So make sure every page you have, like right there, is numbered. Grammar and syntax. Just because it's a business course doesn't mean that we shouldn't use good grammar and good syntax. Just what I've said for our advisory committee meetings. All projects should be written with the utmost professionalism, proper grammar, punctuation, and spelling. Remember, your audience for the look and the style of your projects should be for a executive vice president, president of marketing, operations, communication, finance, could be to a venture capitalist. Again, are you proud of the work that you are submitting? Do you believe it's going to be taken seriously? Do you believe that someone's going to read it and fund your project? Or this could be the actual last process, the last step of the interview process for the job that you want. Treat it in that manner. Citing your sources. Friends, the book is a source. It's a great source. Yes, that must be cited as well. Now, these projects should be in your own words. So you'll take the information from the book. You'll take the information from any online source. Pardon me again. And then you rewrite it in your own words, and then you'll cite it. So make sure that you are not retweeting anything, and that is a direct copy and paste from the internet. Even if you documented that source and you cited it, that's still considered plagiarism. You have to put it back in somewhat, of what you think about that, your own words. Because I know many of you, this is a transferable course, business, personal finance. And so this goes on to all major universities. You'll take more courses, and the more higher level courses you get, if you don't document correctly and plagiarize at the university level, you're going to get nailed. You could get failure for the whole course. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to get you ready, my friends. And again, when you cite your sources, it adds credibility to all of your work. So just do the research. Write the question in your own words. Cite the source. By doing this, you're going to be in great shape. So, how do I grade? Here we go. If you've taken my courses before, I always kind of say this. I've had a lot of college coursework myself, and sometimes I had a semester where I was very happy if I could get a B in a class. And so here's how we do it without a tremendous amount of work. And so here we go. You answer every question to project 1. I think it's 10 questions. All right, every question answered adequately. Okay, these are not one sentence answers. They're not one word answers. Those, anything less than 2 or 3 sentences or less, are not going to be graded. I just will count that as a no attempt on the question. So you adequately answer it. You have the good formatting, what I've just went over, and the example I will show you, good spelling and syntax, and you have a minimum of 1,000 words. So that's 100 words for basically each question. You get an 80. Boom, just like that. That's nice. What did you say? You wanted a higher grade? Well, fantastic. If you want an 85, same thing. Everything, again, every question answered, proper formatting, grammar, spelling, syntax, word count of at least 1,500 words. Now, when I say every question answered, I've had this a few times on some students. They'll answer like 4 or 5 questions. They'll get to their 1,000 and sometimes even 1,500 words, thinking that they've got their lockdown B, but they left half the questions unanswered, the remaining questions. That is not a B. That is an F. Yeah, I would, if I did that, I would receive an F for myself. So every question must be adequately answered. Perfect. You want a 90, an A. Excellent. Again, we're using much more research now, okay, because each question is being answered very, very well. And proper formatting, grammar, and syntax, a 2,000 word project gets you into the 90 range. Again, everything answered correctly. It's not a lockdown grade. If it's just a babbling on, it's got to be all in there. And then 95. All right, everything, excellent research, excellent formatting, minimum word count, 2,500 words. You're in the 95 range now. It has a wow factor. Really looks really, really good. What about projects with poor formatting, spelling, grammar, and don't even reach the minimum? They're like 500-600 words. Well, those are going to receive probably an F. If I submitted that, my grade would be an F. And I'd have to question myself, why am I taking this course? The thing about this course and these projects, all this information is going to guide your personal financial future. That's why you really want to put your best effort in here, because I think you're going to refer back to these. I've had students that have emailed me, and I've been teaching this course for 13 years. When I first taught it, they said, I'm so glad I took this course. I've gone back to the projects I did because I needed more information on that Roth IRA. I needed more information on how to make a home inventory, and I had it because I kept all of the work I did. So do that. Anything that's not that well, my friends, they should have never been submitted in the first place, because they're never going to be reviewed in the business world. Now, we do have campus centers, writing centers on every campus. Again, get someone to proofread your work. If that's needs necessary, it's always good to have a different set of eyes. And you can email in to our campus learning center, which has a writing center, and they'll be happy to look at your work. But you cannot do that a day or two before it's due. You're going to have to work early and then put that in there a week or so before, because they're going to be backlogged. So here is a formatting idea. Here's an example. Project 1, prepared for me, Randy Saleh, Assistant Professor of Business, prepared by Carl Spackler. So there's your title page. I redacted this project very hard to get you one answer, just to see what an outstanding answer looks like. So, daily functions of a manager. This is taken from my business principles course. There's how they started off. This is a quick definition. And these are the 4 functions. Each function has its own heading, and each sub part of this answer has its own bullet. And that, just looking at that, it's very appeasing to the eyes. And if you are a business leader, when you are, and someone puts a project on your desk to, is this going to get funding, you can look and see the answers very clearly before you. So there's planning, there's organizing. Again, see how we have made that to where there's small paragraphs that literally are bulleted. And then we go into the directing and leading and controlling. That was just one question. And there's your works cited. Now, I redacted this. Now, this was a student. I've had many students to write 3,000 to 5,000 words on their projects. I am not saying you need to do that. I'm just saying students have done that before. And so Their works cited was pretty big. They had literally about 13 or 14 sources right in here. The book must be sourced, cited. You see, after every paragraph, and this is the way to always cite your work. After every paragraph, you just say where you got that from. This is APA style. It's very easy. Psychology Today, Leadership 2018. Okay, and because that was more of a journal, and then your book, what page you got it from. Super easy, my friends. And again, protects your work. When you do submit your work, it will go through Safe Assign, because that is a requirement of all online courses to have some sort of validity that the student did their own work. And if it comes back with a 50% or higher match, you need to rewrite some of your work. That means it's equal to too many different sources in the online world, or it could be a classmate. So I take it with a jaundiced eye, because in English classes, anything over 10% I think would receive a failing grade in a rewrite. I'm just going to ask you to rewrite some of those to make it less than 50% on your Safe Assign search. That automatically happens when you submit your project. There we go. All right, keeping it simple. I hope this helps. Not only that, I believe you're going to reference this work. For those of you who really are going to take this class seriously, you're going to reference this later in life as you move through your financial future, and you're going to have great careers. And this will give you an idea of what the business community is asking for, and how to write your reports, and how to submit things. Now, I've had some students, again, been teaching for a while, that say, I've been in the business world for 20 years. I never had to write like this. And my answer is, congratulations. Sounds like you've had a good career so far. I congratulate you. What you had to do and what we are doing in this course may be different. And so this is what we're going to do in this course. So again, I hope this has been helpful. I think it has been. I think you now know, what your project should look like, the formatting of it, and the grading style of this course. Looking forward to that work that you're going to submit. So here we are, back to our assignment. You now know what the assignments look like. You know how to write it, how to format it, pick out the grade that you want. You're ready to submit your final project, which is going to be in an MS Word or a PDF document file. And so what do we do? Well, here's what we do. We go right in here to assignment submission. This is very much like attaching a file to an email. So just real quickly, there is something called a text submission, which we do not do. We do not copy and paste our assignment into this text submission. I simply wouldn't grade anything like that. So don't even have to worry about that one. We go right to Browse My Computer. Okay, just like you would on any type of attachment. I go find my file. Great. And as you see, you click the file you want. You click the open. It has my name, Project 1, Planning Personal Finances. Excellent. That's what it should look like. Of course, it'd be your name right there, Project 1, Planning Personal Finances. And then let's say, oh my gosh, I got the wrong file. I got for another, course. We'll just hit Do Not Attach. Okay. Let's see what happens. It says Do Not Attach. Go back, browse your computer, and find the file you need. Okay, it happens. It does happen. You're going to be, you're doing a lot of different stuff. If you ever hit the wrong file, just go Do Not Attach. And then you hit the Submit button. And when you hit Submit, wait a few seconds. We know the internet speeds are going to be slower. Everybody in the world, is using internet pretty heavy. And so when it's finished, you'll have a green bar up here. A green means great. It'll say your assignment was submitted, and it gives you a date stamp. If it comes up red, it means something went wrong and you need to redo it. And if you X out too fast, it won't do it. You'll have to resubmit your assignment. And again, the closer you try to submit at 11 p.m. on this date, on any due dates that you have, it's going to be slower, my friends. So again, take advantage of doing things early, and so there won't be a problem. Now, what if, again, you got the wrong file? You have unlimited submissions. which is good and maybe detrimental at the same time. But again, I'm giving you every opportunity. Sometimes I've had a student who will submit a project 6 times just because they didn't know if it went through. When you get the green light up there, it goes through. If I were to submit right now, it would give a red light because instructors are not allowed to submit assignments to themselves. So that's why I'm not hitting that submit button. But I will always grade the last submission you give me. And you can always put a comment. Mr. Saleh, please use this submission. I sent the wrong ones earlier. And that will just help me as well. But again, a little bit like carpentry, we want to measure 2 or 3 times before we cut. And so just make sure you've got the right project, okay? And when you hit that submission, again, that's it. And again, any comments, if you want to just say, I'm submitting my project 1, thank you, this is the most awesome class I've ever had, that's perfectly fine. But you don't have to put any comments. That wraps it up, my friends. We know, what the expectations are. I hope we do. We should. The expectations, what I'm looking for, the formatting, and again, the information that you're going to learn, I think it's going to be very, very, very valuable for you. And I can't wait to read your amazing work that you're going to submit. Make it a great day.